Hey, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Tiny Bunny. Let's get back into it. Who could be visiting us? Apparently there's someone here. Is that the plug for the fridge? We don't know anyone around here. So persistent. I felt extremely unsettled just from a silly thought that our morning guest could have come from the woods. I could barely hear voices coming from the front door. My mind was urging me to hide. In the closet. Under the table. Behind the curtains where Alia always hides. Tony, come here. I felt like kettlebells were tied to my feet, but still dragged them toward the hallway. Why is he so terrified? A couple of policemen towered over me in the doorway. Yeah. What is that? They smelled like frost and worry. Oh, yeah. I didn't realize until I was watching the video. I can literally hide my mouse behind my camera. It's just like... okay. My mom always winced and grumbled the moment she saw patrol cars. Worse than bandits? Okay, easy. At the moment, though, they looked somewhat confused. Hello. Senior officer, who wore a grim expression, nodded. A boy had gone missing yesterday. His name's Vova. Vova? Look at this, please. Have you seen him? The policeman held out his photograph to me. Why can't I see his dead eyes behind? There's a ginger boy around the age of elementary school, pictured with a wall carpet as the backdrop. He had a striped cat in his hands and wore a wide smile. No, I haven't. Are you sure? Look closely. Where would I see him? I don't know anyone around here. I barely leave the house. Well, maybe you've seen him from the window. What a weird and specific thing to ask somebody. That's right, your windows look straight at the forest, don't they? Why are we talking? The window. No, I haven't seen anything. Let's see. He sounded tired, but his eyes, his stare, long and heavy, was full of suspicion. I squirmed unwittingly under the weight of guilt which his giant shadow cast over me. The policeman finally tore his eyes away from me and glanced over the hallway, the stairway, and the cracks in the ceiling, which I haven't noticed before for some reason. How do you like your new place, by the way? Getting used to it? Bit by bit, it's just our little daughter misses the city a lot. Misses the city, huh? Have the locals been treating you well? We don't leave the house, apparently. Yes, everything is alright, thank you. Can you leave now? The policeman pierced through me one more time with his gray eyes. My head started spinning. Can I help you somehow? I said in a shaky voice to look like a polite boy and to end this unpleasant conversation sooner. Now that I think about it, you look just like one of my nephews, little fella. He's a witty boy around your age. Wears the same type of goggles. Haha, goggles. Always engrossed in reading those mystery novels. Told me he wants to enroll in police school when his family visited this summer. Wanted to help other people just like me, see? Felt uncomfortable. As if a distant relative and not a police officer stood before me. You know what? Little boys like you should stay at home, steer away from trouble. The times have changed so much. He already says he does, but okay. Mom interjected in a cold voice. You don't say. Ah, well then. What grade are you in, Tony boy? 6th. Have you made any friends here so far? Not yet. I'll be going to school for the first time after the break. For the first time. Oh, then I'll leave you my number just in case. Call me if you have any new info. Did he say that to the boy? The policemen were gone along with their shadows, the smell of cheap cologne, and the photo of a smiling boy. His face still stood before my eyes. I wondered what it was like for him, being all alone there. Talking about the policeman? For some reason I thought of the forest swaying in the wind. Oh, the boy. What did his poor parents feel? What would my parents do if I'd gone missing? Well, they'd try to kill you because you're not finishing your porridge, so... Would they cry and thrash around hysterically, or would they accuse each other like they always do and forget about me eventually? Aww. Mom, this Vova, did he go missing in our forest? Seems like it, poor child. Looked at the window, at the road. Where the hell do they live? In the middle of friggin' nowhere, Alaska? No, they have roads with electrical wiring, so... Huh. The police UAZ drove off toward the village. The officer's nephew came to mind when I was splitting off old paint from the windowsill. I remembered all the teenage mystery novels from the Black Kitty series I've read this summer. Your average boys and girls investigated all sorts of mysteries there. They looked for clues, spied on suspicious people. And after a set of amazing adventures, bam! Solved any complicated case. Became local celebrities and must have made their parents very proud. Then disappeared? No, that's a book. I noticed a trail of policemen's footprints that led to the forest, and then it clicked in my head. Why don't I start an investigation of my own? Is he actually gonna, go out? Ah, crap. Maybe I'll find that lost boy. And I'll get a reward. Or Olya will be so happy. Dude, he's figuring out who he is. And not only Olya, Mom and Dad too. I'm gonna save the family by finding this boy. Maybe they'll even forget about their quarrels for a while. Maybe I'll even save us from the D word. I fantasized about buying Olya a Tamagotchi and getting a cassette player and a bunch of tapes for myself. A whole bunch of kinder surprise. I don't know what that means. It's capitalized, so it's like a thing though. When was the last time our parents bought us any toys? Last autumn, I think. My dad had lost his job at the time. There's that annoying song about it. I had little to no idea what was the accountant's job like. They count money, I think. Neighbors used to envy us. But nowadays, Mom and Dad barely had money to afford sweets, and Dad would always divide a single chocolate bar between me and Olya. Sometimes I gave her my share too. So they moved. I don't remember if we know why yet. He had a really good job and they had a bunch of money, I think. And then they moved and all these things started happening. They started arguing and don't have money and bad things happening with Olya. No matter how much I wanted to eat sweets, she was still just a pipsqueak. I couldn't wait to go out looking for clues. I'm going outside. He's going to do it. Yeah, right. You want the police to go around with your photograph next? The forest is so thick. What if the boy got snatched up by wild animals or something even worse? Even worse. Echoed throughout the hallway. I won't go far. I'll stay away from the forest. Did you hear what I said, or should I repeat myself? Mom, why are you so mad all the time? Better go pack your school bag or play with Olya. Oh, I didn't even read. It meant that the argument was over and Mom had the last word. Harry Potter? Oh, I can... Ooh, what's that? Oh, it's a cheat. Whoops. Oh, crap. Well, now I know, and I didn't mean to. It makes a noise if you can interact with it, so... A little laggy, but whatever. Mom's peg top, a family relic. My mom played with it when she was little, then she gifted it to me. Olya was next in the succession line. The toy belonged to her now. She stared at the dancing spindle as if it could show her something, a fairy tale or maybe even our future. Now even my little sister was a bit too old for the old squeaky peg top. What a weird thing to pass down. What's in here? Mom says it smells like mice, but how would she know their smell? She hates when I stick my nose in there. She's afraid I'll cut myself on that freshly sharpened axe. And you can't even be lured close to it. She thinks Babe is living there. I tried to help her fight her fears once. I opened the door and turned on a dim lamp so she would see there was nothing but cobwebs, Dad's tools, and scratched walls. She still didn't believe me, and I liked to hide in the closet and listen to Olya count outside. 1, 2, 3, better hide from me. And then drag her feet on the creaking floorboards, hoping that she wouldn't need to look for me in the cramped monster's den. No, take the axe! My parents prohibit me from making long-distance calls, but from time to time I really want to hear my old friends. Sometimes I would just pick up the phone, listen to the low hum of the zoomer and the distant crackling, imagining the wind howling and the ice-leaden chords. I can't, turn around. So I can either disobey or obey. I mean, my first instinct is to go outside, but we're not prepared at all, right? Better wait on that. More information? I don't know what the right answer is. We know where an axe is, though. Can I take that? Oh. How did she know? Why are you so mean? Why can't you be nice? The decrepit and stain-covered calendar was once my favorite form of entertainment in Grandma's house. I remember waking up and running to the kitchen so I could tear off yesterday's leaf first thing in the morning, as if the coming day would get lost in the Taiga Forest without my help. One day closer to New Year's, one day closer to Grandma's funeral. Aw. I haven't touched this calendar for years now. Aw. So it's old? So it's an old calendar? Since the time they started writing dark and spooky death chants that only made me gloomy instead of funny proverbs and superstitions to be exact. What? I grabbed a dusty calendar, a leaf of caution, and tore it off effortlessly. Sadly, the spooky descriptions from my childhood were still there. 7 horses carry the... Oh. Why does this happen, man? What a weird game to crash a visual novel, and especially when I'm never touching it. I'm not touching it at all and it just crashes. Calendar, blah, 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 blah. 7 horses carry the log. If 7 can't carry, bring the 8th from a ferry. They will take it away and never come back. This is the fate the log cannot escape. I don't know what that means. I crumpled the gray leaf and threw it into the waste bin, hoping to get rid of the anxiousness that washed over me. It was spreading inside me like an ink stain on blotting paper. Hey, Mom. Emirkam of Russia has declared the state of emergency due to adverse weather conditions. According to the weather forecast, the cyclone is moving toward the region. Expect heavy snowfall, blizzards, and snowdrifts on the road. Keep your eyes open and take care of yourself. Took a peek at Mom's crossword. She would get very angry when someone gave her advice, so me and Dad faked knowing the answer and being about to reveal it all the time. Okay. I smiled at that fleeting thought. Why was that so hard to read? Vertical, 9 letters, name of the Philistine deity that protected them from viper bites and had a nickname, the Lord of Flies. I probably know this. Second letter is E. I don't know it. I probably heard of it, but the side of an old ocean freezer was checkered with my childish drawings, Mom's recipes, and all kinds of stickers from bubblegum with dinosaurs that Olia liked so much. Is that a number that I need? Oh, whoops, sorry. First Lieutenant Tikhonov, I read inside my mind, looking at the officer's sprawling handwriting. A scrap of paper is held by 2 pieces of a broken magnet from some old Soviet toy. And those pieces just barely covered up the numbers as if to taunt me. I know. I leaned toward it to unveil the mystery and take the piece to a safer place where it would wait for its time when I would finally find Vova and be the first to call the police with the happy news. Oh, that's the... Okay. Anton. Mom's report... I can't... What do you need it for? Hands off. You'll lose it. Angering my mom was the last thing I wanted, so I lowered my hand. Dude, you're not allowed to do anything with her. Why is she so mean? It was difficult to lie to Mom, but there was no other way for me to run away from home. Mom, something's wrong with the TV. The picture is dim and there are stripes all over the screen. Mom's face became visibly distorted. Ah, you're killing me here. So have you had enough of shooting those stupid ducks now? Told you the kinescope will go dim because of your console. Where will we find a TV technician in this hole, huh? Maybe it's just the settings. Please, go see for yourself. Strange, it worked fine in the morning. Maybe the snowfall caused it? Mom rubbed her hands clean on her apron and went to Olya's room. Grab the thing. Yes. Senior Lieutenant Tikhonov, Konstantin, Vladimirovich. I don't know where the emphasis goes. 2. His telephone number is 20337. That's it. That's really... Okay. Cool. I didn't memorize that at all. What's in here? Grandma kept ice cream for me and Olya, but now I can only see meat bits for soup and clumped together why is it underlined? Pelmeni? I grew to hate them already. Good. Is that like medicine? Eggs? That's it? Okay. Right back. Nothing else. Mom's crossword? Don't touch that. She'll get mad. She doesn't like when you touch it. Where was I going? Outside? I should have took the axe. Can I go back inside? Ah, crap. Carefully so Mom wouldn't see me from the window. When I crossed half of the distance toward the forest, the snow piles became high as my knees. I remembered my nightly fears. I saw those silhouettes around here. They were jumping around, holding hands. That hypnotizing music started playing in my head all on its own. In the light of day, those distant figures felt like a simple dream. The sun turned my nightmares to ash, but the aftertaste was still there. Distant ringing in my ears, distorted shadows crawling on the snow alongside me, and a barely audible whisper in my head, blurry and almost kind. Everything was silent. This is what peace looks like to me. Some people see like an ocean and a beach or whatever. It's just a quiet forest and it's cold. So silent, I felt the world was totally empty. No ground, no sky, no parents, no Olia. Time reached its limit, a one-way trip that ended at the forest's tiny, piney stockade. Sometimes silence was much scarier than any scream. That's kind of profound. Our parents would scream at each other while arguing, and both me and Olia turned to stone, listening to them. But then always came the ringing silence. Our apartment became numb a couple days before we departed. Yeah. It was hard to remember the last time Mom and Dad joked around, laughing, or spent time together. Almost like all of it was a previous life. When they kissed with Olia present, she always frowned and snorted in a funny way. But one day it all changed. Something important had left our home, and something scary filled the remaining void. It was as if a fire broke up, and our parents were hurriedly packing our belongings, trying to save themselves and us. From who, though? From the people with dead, cold eyes who sometimes visited us in our previous home? The eyes that only saw balls of worms on the black ground and everything? And somewhere far away, a siren was going off, trying to warn us of the coming menace. Ugh. I shuddered, chasing away my delusions, and looked around. There were only me, this white field, and the wind that was whipping up icy dust and belts of powdered snow. I squinted from the sun and turned my eyes to the sunless forest. It looked especially dark in contrast with the blinding whiteness. Knobby trees' roots slithered under the snow like fat snakes. Knobby trees' roots, jeez. Rotten leaves and coniferous needles froze into the ice. Oh, now that's enticing, is it not? Dry, prickly branches intertwined, bringing up uncomfortable thoughts about fences. Are they protecting the forest? Or are they keeping something from breaking out? Some object was hanging from one of the pointy branches. It was a grove. I tried to get closer, drowning in snow. Really? What? And I almost got to the edge of the forest. I saw a knitted mitten. It looked like a wounded bird among the hungering semi-dark. Should I take it to the police? The senior officer looked gloomy, but he still reminded me of Captain Casanova from my favorite TV show called The Streets of Broken Lights. He was also always anxious, with a tired look in his eyes, but still brave and strong. Will this mitten help them find the lost boy? I don't know if the volume was loud enough for you to hear that, but there was like a slight yell or something. There was a sound. I'm not going to yell Vova. I heard a distant shout. That shout looked like it came from the river. You heard that time? As if the trees were calling out to someone. Vova resounded closer to me. Someone was standing there behind the trees, hiding. Or yelling his name in the forest. I knew someone was looking for the lost boy, but still. Something was unsettling about that figure. Where? Behind the trees? I don't see it. Am I not supposed to see it? Its stillness, how it was bent unnaturally toward the ground. Its blackness. There's no one there, just branches and roots. It's all just my imagination. A nearby bird flapped its wings loudly. Oh! A shadow split from the tree and disappeared from my sight. I looked away for just a moment, but when I turned my gaze back to the same place, it was gone. So is my imagination after all. Silence reigned for a painfully long time. My muscles were tightly sprung. My heart was beating somewhere in my throat. Any noise, any little movement, any small whisper from the thicket, and I'd sprint. But nothing of the sort happened. I looked at the mitten once more. You gotta be brave. I'm gonna go towards it, and Mom's gonna see me and freak out. Watch. I decided to take the lonely mitten from the branch. Oh my goodness, I got second thoughts. F that. What the frig? A shout rumbled across the field and dissolved into the distance. No echo, no hope for a reply. I stepped towards the bristly trees and tried to claim my find. It didn't budge. I pulled harder. The branch cracked and the mitten tore off, landing in my hand with a squishy sound. All too heavy, wet. I squeezed it without thinking, and something dark spilled from it, forming a tiny string between the mitten and the snow. Steam rose from the snow pile. Blood, dry blood, fresh blood, warm. I froze in place, studying my palms in disgust. Red. The sound of cracking branches invaded the silence. Am I dead? I didn't have to think twice before running away. Someone was chasing me from the darkness, breaking pine branches, closing the distance with giant leaps. Snow was slowing me down. Crazy thoughts threw through my mind. I'll get caught. They'll get me. I'll get dragged into the thicket. I'll be gone forever. But there was one more voice, probably one of reason. It gave me strength. It spurred me on. You can do it. Don't stop, Anton. Oh my gosh, I heard an animal roar behind me. It was so loud my ears went numb. It felt like the sound came from a pack of hungry beasts rather than a single one. Their nostrils sucked in freezing air. They sensed my fear. Two giant winds flapped above my head. An enormous shadow flew over the clearing. A hoot. A wheeze. The roars were coming from all directions now. Oh my gosh. From the dried up raspberry bush, from twisted pines, from under the windfall. Hurry, run. Don't look back. It felt like I was inside a nightmare. The snowy clearing became viscous like quicksand. I was stuck in place. I pulled my leg from the mushy trap just to be caught in a new one, even deeper than before. I continued to drown, sinking deeper and deeper with every desperate push. Was snow ever this sticky? Why? I don't understand. It said he was drowning in snow, and it was like up to his ankles, maybe. I screamed in horror after realizing this wasn't snow. Someone or something in the snow pile was clutching my pants. I gathered all my strength and rushed forward. The pressure on my leg was gone. My boot slipped out of the hole, and my soles were on a hard surface again. I reached a clear path with one jump, and from there, ran to my house. Its gloomy facade didn't look threatening now. He's just having this thought as he's sprinting for 27 minutes to the house. That house was my line of defense from the shadows that flapped their wings and the creatures that were hidden under the snow. I tripped over the doorstep and smashed into the door. In all my hurry, I still managed to notice the claw marks, as if a dog was striking the wood with its paws, demanding to be let in so it could escape the cold. I hadn't noticed these marks when I was leaving. The heartbeat in my ears was much louder than my surroundings. Couldn't bear whether someone was following me or not. Here. What if they were already in my front yard? Mom had locked the door. She sees them both coming. He's not gonna make it. Click. Sorry. Drowning in fear, I pulled on the doorknob and it obediently gave way. I rolled into the hallway and shut the door behind me. Porch planks creaked as my pursuers ascended the stairs. My fingers slipped off the lock and I couldn't click it into place. I gritted my teeth and pulled hard on the iron knob, whipping it between the boards. I'm not sure I understand. I stared blankly at the door. Someone was standing on the other side of the pitiful, flimsy barrier that was probably less useful than blankets. Get a new door. Wheezing breath reached into the house and crashed at me in waves. It smelled of pine and sweat. Mom peeked out of the kitchen and chastised me with the same frigid voice she always used when talking to Dad. What exactly didn't you understand when I told you never to slam the door? I, I didn't mean to. I snuck a glance at the door. The smell was gone, and the breath was too. If there was someone in the first place, of course. Here, mere 5 meters away from Mom, my fear was slowly weakening, melting like snow in spring, and with it the last bit of strength I had left in my body, too. Hey, Mom. My legs gave way. I propped myself up against the wall so I wouldn't fall over. Mom's expression had changed immediately. The cold mask of strictness and detachment was gone. Mom looked the same as before all those quarrels. She finally saw my condition, my wet pants plastered with snow. Where have you been? What did I tell you, huh? I told you to stay home. Am I nothing to you too? Oh, come on now. I got afraid she would cry. I reached out to her like when I was little and wanted her to cuddle me. But Mom regained her composure fast and put on her usual face. Her eyes shined like steel, her voice rang out. So confused. Your dad can't find his cigarettes. Be honest, did you snatch them? Were you smoking in secret? There was someone chasing me, I thought. I stuttered as soon as I started explaining myself. Tears welled up in my eyes. Mom leaned forward and sniffed my clothes like a beast, searching for the smell of tobacco. Then she squinted her eyes in suspicion and looked into the front yard. Her expression changed in an instant, and she covered her mouth with her hand. Look, over there at the fence. My heart started thumping as if I became prey once again and my pursuers were following me in the field. I could swear that I've heard something scratch at the door just like in my nightmare. She's clearly upset about something. We're about to see something. Mom beckoned me with her finger and I gathered all my remaining bravery to look into the kitchen window, facing my fear. There was a pack of dogs. I could barely discern some hairy silhouettes swimming in snow, the icy winter patterns on the glass. Dogs or like wolves? Dogs. Just a small pack of strays with no name and owner, barely reminding of the hungry monsters that live on the edge of the forest. Oh boy, were you scared of them? I think they'd rather be scared of you, Anton. They were chasing me like a bunny. And what if they're rabid? The smile had slowly disappeared from Mom's face. Now she looked at the dogs as if it were the first time seeing them. What if they attack Golia? Mom? I wish your dad could just shoot them all. I mean, they're stray dogs in Russia. I wouldn't trust them either. I wouldn't shoot them. Mom, look, they're alive. Huh? What? Are they your friend or foe after all? Make up your mind. You're not a little kid anymore. Mom sighed in annoyance, and I felt so bitter that I bit my lower lip and fixed my gaze on the cobweb-ridden corner. Well, some detective I am. In reality, I wasn't risking my life among monsters, but rather my pants among a pack of stupid strays. And what for? What use do I have for this? Mitten. Of course! A darkened, sticky mitten that belonged to the lost boy that made a squishy sound in my hand. Seems like I was clutching it the whole time. That's my trump card as a detective. I heard to present this clue to my mom. Oh my gosh. Mom, look, this is Vova's mitten. That boy the police were asking about in the morning. It's drenched in blood. I found it hanging on a tree. I can show where. And he's just letting it drip onto the floor. Let's call the police right away, like the officer had told us to. Mom, look. Yeah. A shadow of doubt slowly crept into Mom's contorted face, as if she was trying to remember something distant, like someone tries to remember their dream, but the image slips away. Stop at this moment. Ollie will go insane if she hears you. Oh, sorry. She already has trouble sleeping and whines all the time. And you joke around like this? At this moment, I realized that mitten was actually wet from snow. Dude, what the frig? There was no blood whatsoever. I wanted to sink through the floor from embarrassment. Come here, my boy who cried wolf. Uh-oh. Oh, don't just stand there. Come take your pills. Oh, okay. Oh, a golden-colored pill, reminiscent of a dead wasp, fell into my palm. I already took one during breakfast. Don't talk over me. I told you to stay home, and Dad would have given you a good whipping for that. Come on, take it or you won't be able to sleep at night, and you'd have school tomorrow. So I had to swallow the bitter medication, drinking it down with similarly awful water that gave off a taste of chlorine. Maybe it wasn't Volva's mitten. Maybe it wasn't a mitten at all. Just like the forest monsters. Nolia's owl. Am I going mad? Yeah, I think so. Because, like, you just imagine everything. What's happening to me? Either the pill had an immediate effect or my overexerted brain didn't let fear inside anymore. Serenity washed over me, bringing yawny indifference along with it. Anton? You done? See, you can do it when you try. See, you can do it when you try. Take off your coat. Are you asleep? No, Mom, I was just thinking. What about, I wonder? It's just something silly. Mom scrutinized me with suspicious eyes, as if she wasn't sure she was looking at her own son and not some doppelganger that came from the forest. Is everything all right? You had the exact same expression when the police asked you about the window. I'm all right, Mom. She heaved a deep sigh. Fine. It seemed like the house had changed. The sofa's fabric had become discolored. Fingerprints appeared in the bathroom tiles. The light bulbs also felt different. Dimmer and yellower. Even the saliva inside my mouth had a different taste. Melody from Aladdin could be heard from the upper floor. Olia was done rewatching her favorite Little Mermaid episodes and switched to other tapes. I slowly changed into my home clothes. Stopped before the sink and studied my reflection in the mirror like I was trying to solve one of those spot the difference puzzles. What is happening? Then I went upstairs. Jafar and Lagos. Lagos? Their voices died down. I walked past Olia's bedroom and slipped into my own. Okay, so I think I'm going to cut it there. We learned a little bit about him. He has to take medication. I saw that in the fridge. There was a bunch of medication and stuff in the fridge. I didn't think anything of it because I didn't want to just jump to conclusions. But he does have to take medications for something. Could it be anxiety or... It's not ADD or anything. For sleep? To help? Yeah, it's probably anxiety. It's probably medication to help him calm down. Because when he doesn't take her, or when it starts to wear off, he starts imagining all these things. He sees things or something. Maybe it's a family trait, or maybe both the kids have it, or I don't know. This is why I wasn't trying to overthink. Getting really interesting, and I just want the story to go so I can interact with stuff again. But either way, thanks for watching. Hope you're enjoying it. I'm enjoying it, and I'll see you in the next video, probably tomorrow. Bye bye.